Hi, and welcome to this episode in our podcast series where we are talking about a topic that's very close to my heart and it should be very close to your heart. And that is about how to bill more and get paid faster. Having been in the services industry for my entire working career, I have a deep understanding of the pressures felt by legal professionals, of that constant need to record their time and generate invoices so that they can get paid for the work that they do. In law firms, there are three main categories of items that are billed to clients. Firstly, we have professional fees. Then you have disbursements or hard costs, as they're called in other jurisdictions. These are disbursements that are incurred on behalf of the client with a third party. And then, of course, you've got your internal cost recoveries, which are also called soft costs, which are internal items which are used on a matter such as printing, telephone calls, files, copies made, etc. So let's take a look at professional fees. Professional fees can be billed to matters using a number of different fee structures. Typically, the type of work that the firm or the department in the firm does and the client profile that is associated with that type of work normally will determine what fee structure can be used or is used. For example, a practice that focuses on criminal law in the magistrates' courts, they may use the magistrates' court tariff. A family law practice, however, that focuses on higher-end divorces may use time and attendance billing at varying rates per hour as their methodology for billing. Tariff work or tariff type work does not leave much margin for clients to negotiate, since the tariffs for the different courts are prescribed. However, time and attendance billing at varying rates can open leverage for clients to query their accounts. Over my years of billing resource time, there are several things for me that are essential to understand. If you're a billing resource, or if you are managing billing resources that are billing time and attendance. Number one, record your time as you work. If you do not record your time spent as you are working or shortly thereafter, you will either over-account or under-account for the work that you've performed. There's no one-size-fits-all. Different people like to record their time in different ways. I get that. Some people like to run timers, others make handwritten notes, and others capture directly into their practice management system. But I will say that by way and by far, the most accurate and most time recorded I have found, not only in law firms, is by those professionals that record their own activities either through system timers or directly into their practice management system, even though it may be at the end of the day and not necessarily while they're doing the work. So the best advice that I can give you to bill more and bill accurately is to make sure it's in the system every day before you shut down for the day. Secondly, describe your work. Clear but concise descriptions of the work performed leave no room for leverage by nitpicking clients and tell a chronological story of the effort that you have put into the matter. Meaningful descriptions will also enable your clients to be involved in their matter and understand the processes you are working for them, building trust and confidence in your ability to get the best result for them for that matter. Thirdly, monitor your work. You need to have sight of the time you've recorded and the value thereof. Being able to see how many hours you have billed in a day or a week or a month gives you the ability to manage your workload and your capacity for new matters, and also be a guide as to how effectively you are generating fees. And you should have sight of the same for all of the members in your team. Not being able to see what fees are being generated during the course of a month is like driving in a traffic jam blindfolded. You only know you've crashed when you've crashed. Let's talk about disbursements now. or hard costs. It's important to bill disbursements transparently and as soon after they are incurred as possible. Doing this will get your invoices paid faster and not leave you out of pocket from a cash flow perspective when you need to pay those third parties without having collected the expense from your client yet. Our practice management software provides functionality to upload these third-party invoices to a matter and automatically attaches them as annexures to your invoice. This functionality has reduced the number of queries and holdups on payment of invoices substantially for our clients. Why? Because their clients can see what work has been performed and cannot dispute the disbursement. Before I continue, please subscribe to my channel. Click on the subscribe button below so that you can get notified of new episodes when they become available. Also, in the description below are links to our Facebook and LinkedIn groups where you can join and discuss this topic and other topics with your peers, ask questions, or even give members the wisdom of your experiences. Right, let's move on then to cost recovery or soft costs. Internal disbursements are time-consuming and tedious to record, or can incur additional cost for the firm if they are using a cost recovery system. Adding item for item lines of these internal cost recovery amounts can also annoy clients with lines and lines of copies, telephone call, printing, etc. on invoices. Often cost recoveries are billed to incorrect matters, that human error element again. So even if you are using a system, a cost recovery system, people can punch in the wrong codes, putting incorrect cost recoveries onto matters, opening up disputes on invoices. A better way that we've discovered to recover these internal costs is to bill a percentage of the fees as an internal recoupment. This practice has been used by a number of South African law firms very successfully. Our practice management software automatically, if the function is selected, will add a percentage line to every single invoice, reducing human error with cost recovery allocations, reducing the number of lines on an invoice, and reducing the amount of time and tedium required to recover these costs. So how do we get paid faster? So we look at the billing categories, how we've unpacked the elements of each of them. You might see some warning signals of how these items, when they end up on a client invoice, can irritate a client. Or worse, give them room to query your bill and delay payment. Where things can get tricky too is where you run your practice through your trust account and you simply transfer the invoice amount from your trust to your business account, which can land you in hot water from a trust audit perspective when a client disputes an invoice. Of course, when a client does dispute an invoice, even if you have funds in trust that you could use to settle that invoice, you could always refuse to do more work for the client until the dispute is resolved and the invoice is paid. For a start, conflict over invoices can ruin relationships and breed mistrust. Trust being something that is essential between client and their counsel in order to progress a matter. Secondly, it does not bode well for your professional reputation when trying to build a practice and market its services and attract clients. Good relationships are built on transparency and clarity. Make sure that your invoices are well structured, clear, and concise, and provide your clients with enough information to be able to understand the value of the work performed. Invoices should also be neat, easy to read, and represent your brand with your colors and your logo. And make sure that you bill regularly. So is this all that you need to do to get paid faster? Absolutely not. There is so much that your practice management software should do for you to enable the billing function to be a quick and seamless process, using a minimum amount of time to generate invoices in bulk and even less of the professional's time to check invoices before they are finalized and automatically sent out. With this process being automated, it's easy for new practices or busy practices to bill in bulk weekly, bi-monthly, or monthly. Cash flow is, after all, just a numbers game. I'm happy to engage one-on-one to discuss how to streamline your billing processes to bill more and get paid faster. You can just drop me an email at jenny@driverevenue.net or join our Facebook or LinkedIn groups to discuss this topic in more detail. That's it for this week. I hope some of these tips will help you bill more and get paid faster. Next week, we'll cover some tips on starting a new practice. Until then, be open, happy billing. Cheers.